Okay, so hello guys, my name is Emilio Riquelme and I'm going to show you in this quick tutorial how you can do your own face capture with Blender and the face rig I designed for this character for Sintel. So first of all, let's take a look at the the results. This is the final step. To get this, I have done tracking, then I have just calibrating the controls. After that I interpret the face expressions, and then I bake the whole thing to the animation to keyframes, and after that I filter that keyframes in order to get this result. Okay, so I'm going to show you. You have the control rig. This is the video file. It has a lot of so it has a lot of track points. You have just to get every kind of every one of these points. You just want them to get track. If you don't know how to do that, just can look. There are plenty of tutorials how to track. So after you have this has a particular setting. The points, the names, they're very useful. So you may just load a file, a video file, a new video file, and use these default points that you may find in this version of the file of the face rig. So you get that, you load your video file, you send it to reconstruction, link empties to track, you select all of them, you link them to tracks, and that's this is the result of it. A bunch of empties that have the track information. This is it. So this is there's nothing new here. You may just have seen this before. With these empties, you have in the 3D world, you have the track information. So what I did, or what you have to do next, is to calibrate the controls. To do that, I'm going to show you how the controls work. Okay, so this is the face rig, the face control. It has these little objects. These are visual circles within a specific name. I lead upper right, I lead lower right, lower left, and okay, they have their own names related with the part of face, with each part of the face. So what they do is they are just connected to shape keys of the character in order to to do the animation stuff easier, because they are sliders, and you may use them to activate the shape keys and produce animation without having to to change the sliders. You have the other control rig. There is the other one. In the other control rig, you do the same thing by changing properties in the control. You have properties here, and you just change them, and these properties just change the value of the shape key. Okay, instead of doing that, what I did was designing this visual interface that lets you do exactly the same, but in an easier way, because you can do this visually. You have this as control, the right smile. You can do this as a happy gesture. You may turn this. I'm going to show you just a little bit how this works. Happy, sad, and if you move it in the x-axis, you have the the U shape key and the E. This particular one has the U, which apply the 2 points because there's just one shape key for this. But if you move the other control, it's not going to work, just this one. So each control has a bunch of properties too, which are multipliers. They are variables that change and modify the way the control affect the shape key. So have 4 different shape keys in this smile control. When you move it into the Z axis to the upper, you move it to the top, you just activate the up shape key, and you do the same thing the other axis by just changing changing the multiplier. If I change smile, just turn the smile off, and doing exactly the same thing, but when I move the control up to the top, it is not smiling at all. So this is useful because you can use this not just to turn on and off the control, but to amplify the smile. So when I do just a little movement of the control, just turn it to the top value, the highest value. So you may use these multipliers to turn on and off, or to just calibrate the amount of which you want to change the shape keys. Another thing that is important, you have multiplier with a lot of things. This particular control is copying the location of this bone, and this one is not linked to any empty. This armature, which is in front of the control rig, and which is linked to the control rig itself by a constraint that copy the location of the bones. Well, they are just these bones are just linked to the empties. So we have the empties here. Each empty has a name, and each bone is linked with a child of constraint to a particular empty. Why doing this instead of just linking the control rig to the face rig? Because you have a lot of different way of doing this video, and the input data may be very different from the the shape of the control. So by doing this, you just link it, and you have the possibility of changing the origin value of the data. So if I change that and I move it, you can notice that there is still input data, but it is offset whenever I move the bone. This is very useful because you may change and adapt the shape, the position, the location of the bones to get proper results. So as you can see, I can move individually each bone. You always have to turn this constraint that copy the location on. You all have to turn that on. So you just can move each bone, and as you know, the input data change as you move the bone. So first of all, you may wanna, if you wanna get good results, you may want to see your face or your capture, and see your character face, and see what's happening. Okay, you may set that to the origin point. You may note this with the Alt G option. You reset the location of the bone and with the set inverse button, this option in the constraint child of, you may set it to the origin, you know, this so the bone is where it was when I built the whole thing. Okay, so what are you trying to do now is to, you know, to set the bone, the position of the bone in order to get a proper result. So you just have to look to the face, your face or whoever face is, and see to the character and interpret to get a result. So I'm going to, for example, we're going to interpret this face. Let's suppose you don't have this. Suppose the data is just, you know, is messy, maybe like that. But if you move the track points to anywhere, you may notice that it may change. So let's suppose it's like this, this like this too. Okay, you know, this whole face rig is adapted for this specific animation and for this specific video. So if you bring your video, your own video, you may have to adapt the control of the face rig to it. So that's the whole thing. You just have to, you know, look how the controls are working, how much the controls are moving, and you just have to set that with the bones. You may set this to the origin, Alt G, and turn it to the origin with set inverse 2. Set inverse just to turn to, you know, the stance before you add the constraint, so it is the, you know, the origin, the stance position. But as you can see here, you know, it's smiling. But it's not smiling at all, so what you have to do is just to move and to get a similar result with the video file. You know, this is the whole stuff. You have to interpret it to see what is happening. You know, you have this control, move the jaw. You may move it down, up or down, and it has a multiplier too. I'm going to show you now. You know, the multipliers are always in the, you know, the circles. The circles have the multipliers. So, you know, you have accuracy and the multiplier. It's very useful of this is if you wanna, you know, open the mouse at this range, you want that to look as the original video. It's quite similar now. Let's suppose you wanna get something like this. Something just bigger. Let's try with this. I want to try with this. Okay, so just go to this control, the one that have the U shape key, and you may want to change the multiplier value. That may affect the way it affects the character, the way it works with the character. So, you know, this is a relaxed position, the mouse, this is relaxed too. When I want to exaggerate a little bit this expression, so what I do is just turn that multiplier to a higher value, and that's exactly what I get. The same with the brows. I want to look this a little bit more, you know, angry. So what I do is just changing the value of the multiplier. If I just send it to a higher value, a higher value like this, stick to the, you know, it may be, you know, very similar to a video, and that's what we want. I can send it to 1. For you to understand this, you know, when each multiplier is set to 1, you know, it has the result that it has to, you know, it is set as predefined. It has no changes. So as you move the control up and down in its old range of movement, just do what it has to do, but with this range of movement, you know, from the center to the bottom, with, you know, this little space. If you need to amplify that space because the movement of your own brows is bigger, is just you know, is exaggerated or not, or you just move too, it is just moving just a little bit, that is not enough to move the control, you may use this multiplier too. If you move your face and you're not getting this control smooth because the movement is too slow, you may use these multipliers to get better results. That's the whole point of this. That's what I try to say. Whenever you want to change, whenever you want to have a, you know, a good results, you may go to do this, change the multipliers, and that's it. So this is a little bit of interpretation. You can change the multipliers. You can move the bones in order to offset the input data. You know, may change this bone specifically because this one is, you know, has a driver for the X and Y position that just adapt itself to an average location between the 4 bones that are around it. So if I change the bones, you may see how this works. Just going to the average position at the mid position. So that's it. You cannot change the position, you cannot animate it directly, but whenever you finish and you bake the animation, you may want to animate this. So after that, you may just you know, delete the drivers and do it by hand, or just turn off this constraint that is copying the location and animate it by yourself. You may turn off that constraint, every constraint, and use the control rig to animate the face. That's the whole, that can be done too, and it's quite you know, simple too. We have a control for the aiming, for the look, that move another control, and you can move the eyes with it. As you cannot track the eye, your eyes, it is not that easy as it seems to be. Well, or not. You know, I have tried, but it was not easy at all. So what I did is simply just connect this control to the aim, which is this other. Disconnect this control to this control. Like what I do is simply just by moving one, it's moving the other, and you can change the aiming of, you know, where the eye of the characters are looking. So let's see. We have this. You have track. You have set the track to this empties. You have set that empties to these bones. You have calibrate and move the bones to get this work properly. You have interpret your expression because you wanna, you know, you wanna have a good look of the animation. You wanna have something that looks like your face, like what you are doing with your face, I mean. After that, you may want to animate it because there's some, you know, sometimes tracking the input data that come from tracks may be a little bit noisy, as you can see here with the eyelids. You may change, we have changed the multiplier values too in order to get a better result. And after that, as you know, this movement of the eyelid might be a little bit noisy. So what you have to do next is to bake the whole armature in order to filter that noise of the eyelids. So after you calibrate and you interpret the faces, and you send that to your to the character, what you're going to do is simply bake the whole armature with the bake action tool. You may, before doing this, you may want to save the file as another file, as an animation file, for example, because when you use this tool, you're going to activate clear constraint in order to get a keyframe for each bone, and this is going to kill all these constraints which are connecting the bones to the empties. So before doing that, before killing that constraints, what you're going to do is to make a backup. That's very important. So I'm not going to bake it now because it has more than 900 frames, keyframes. You're going to take just several minutes. But I have another file with the final result, which is, you know, a bunch of bones full of keyframes, and you have the, you know, the eyelid bone here. I prepared this layout for filtering. It has just the F curve editor, and you can see the face of the character, the video file. You can see everything. So it's quite useful. What you're going to do is just select the bones you want to filter. You can see here the curves. You have to select all the, you know, the effect axis, the y-axis of these ones. Are going to be fine. And to select all the keyframes and use this filter that comes within Blender. This I can find it is smooth keys also. With that we just get smoother results. A lot of time. The more you use it, the smoother you get your animation. I did that with the upper eyelid, or with the eyelids itself, and you can see the result here. They are not that noisy. They're quite good. So you can adjust, you know, each bone using multipliers, using the Alt-G option to set it to the origin of the bone, or to use the constraint option. You don't have constraint here because of this bake, but here you have with this setting burst. After that, you set the multipliers to your animation, to your video, and to your face. Set that multiplier to get the results you want to get with the expression of the face. And after that, you select the whole armature and bake it and clear the whole group of constraints. So after that, you have that everything with keyframes, and you just filter with the Alt-O tool to get smoother results. And that is pretty fine. So you can see my face, you can see the face rig here, you can see how this works, and I hope you may reach good results with this tutorial. I hope you just post it, or just let me know what you can do with this. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and you can just look the tutorial anytime you want to get the explanation. So see you around, and that's it.